And now Varun Gupta will be leaving for India tonight after his bail conditions were relaxed. The Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court ordering authorities to return his passport and allow him to travel to India, but he must return to South Africa by the 27th of May. Covering that story for us in Bloemfontein, Erin Bates, good afternoon to you and welcome. Just remind us who this particular Gupta is.
So Varun Gupta is a nephew to the politically associated Gupta brothers, and he was previously the CEO of Oak Bay Resources and then stepped down as CEO over some political pressure and became a non-executive director of that company.
And he was in court to do what today? He's trying to leave the country, but for a limited period of time.
Yes, he says he needs to go to India in order to attend a religious ceremony which has been organized for a broad party of Gupta family members, 200 or so in total. The trip's been organized by his father, and he asked for a concession having brought this application late. His bail conditions did permit him to apply for international travel, but no later than 6 weeks before his departure date. He applied about 2 weeks before he wanted to go, which was in fact yesterday, but following the order today, he's able to leave and swiftly left court in a black vehicle and promptly made his way to the Bloemfontein airport to get to Johannesburg and then travel on to New Delhi.
And Erin Bates, his lawyer saying a little earlier, and the principal argument that was being given is that he could not be kept in South Africa ahead of his trial as, and I quote, an anticipatory form of punishment. Is that essentially what the magistrate was ruling on?
Yes, so the magistrate cited that during his judgment today, also saying that it wasn't in the interests of justice to deny him passage to India for this limited period. He has asked for permission to do so again before he appears in court in August, and the magistrate was careful to underline some of his concerns about allowing Varun Gupta to leave the country, not least the fact that he has two negligible properties, negligible in value, also that his spouse and children are in India, and that there are concerns that he may be a flight risk. But deliberating over his thinking, his logic in this case, what the provisions are in terms of the bail agreement that was agreed between the state and Varun Gupta and the other co-accused in the Estina matter, and that at the end of it, the magistrate saying, I'm putting my trust in your hands, that you will comply with your commitments to this court, and we will see you back in South Africa no later than the 27th of May.
And Erin, in terms of that compliance that he mentioned, were there any specific further conditions that were placed on him ahead of his departure?
Well, in terms of what the original bail conditions were, there are such things as reporting to the nearest local police station, and we do understand that the NPA had consulted with Interpol to just check up and vet Varun Gupta's argument for why he needed to go to India. So checking, for example, that there in fact is this pilgrimage, that it does happen at this time of year, that the family party is planning to go to this particular temple, and all of that checked out. So the only grounds on which the NPA was able to push back against this application was the fact that it came later than that 6-week benchmark that was agreed to in the original bail condition.
I'm assuming the NPA wasn't too happy.
Well, yes and no. The National NPA spokesperson said they were pleased that one plea from Varun Gupta to get hold of the docket in the broader Estina matter wasn't provided for in this judgment today. And they had said previously that they thought this was a fishing exercise to try and get details on the case the NPA is building against the accused in that matter. And investigations are ongoing there. I did press the national spokesperson for details on whether or not they were concerned about the possibility that Varun Gupta is a flight risk. Didn't really get a clear answer on that one, only that there are these provisions in place and that there will be tight monitoring of him while he is in India.
And before he jumped into that dark sedan that you referred to, Erin, did you have an opportunity to either speak to him or to a member of his legal team?
Yes, he sort of hot-footed out of court, and I and a couple of others did follow to try and glean some comment from him on his sort of take on the whole judgment. He was accompanied by a very well-dressed man wearing a shirt with a logo on it that I won't mention for the sake of promoting a particular brand, but very well-heeled, well-dressed assistant to Varun Gupta. They swiftly made their way out of court, and I repeatedly asked him, are you pleased with the judgment? Are you looking forward to seeing your family in India? And tried to glean some comment, but he simply walked walked straight ahead and marched his way into that black vehicle before leaving court.